Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. Have you ever trusted someone so deeply, only to discover they were hiding a devastating secret? Today, the world is still reeling after the shocking confession of two famous actors linked to the tragic death of Yu Menglong. A story once thought to be an accident has transformed into one of the most chilling scandals in entertainment history. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. Yu Menglong was not simply another name in the entertainment industry. He was a figure who represented ambition, humility, and hope. To his fans, he embodied a rare balance of talent and kindness, the kind of presence that left people inspired long after the camera stopped rolling. His rise had been steady, shaped not by scandal or shortcuts but by dedication and discipline. Audiences across Asia admired the way he carried himself, often describing him as an artist with integrity, someone who reminded people that stardom could still be rooted in sincerity. His death, therefore, was not just the loss of an actor. It was the silencing of a voice that had offered comfort and reassurance to millions. In the immediate aftermath, the official explanation painted his passing as a tragic accident, an unfortunate fall that robbed the industry of one of its brightest lights. For a brief moment, people tried to accept that narrative. They mourned quietly, holding vigils, sharing tributes online, and replaying his most memorable performances as a way to honor his memory. Yet underneath the sorrow, questions began to simmer. How could someone so full of life be gone so suddenly? Why did the circumstances feel inconsistent, as though key details were left unspoken? The investigation deepened, and what had seemed like a closed chapter reopened with startling force. Attention turned toward two men who had once been seen as Yu Menglong's peers, even friends. Their names carried weight in the same circles of fame, and their involvement felt unimaginable. At first, both men resisted the suspicion, producing alibis supported by timestamps, messages, and even witnesses. Their confidence only amplified the disbelief of fans, who could not reconcile the image of celebrated actors with the possibility of hidden guilt. But time has a way of unraveling carefully woven stories. Under persistent questioning and the scrutiny of experts trained to detect deception, their defenses began to crumble. The transformation from denial to confession marked the moment when the world's perception shifted irreversibly. What had been mourned as an accident was now reframed as a preventable tragedy, one born not from fate but from human choices. That revelation did more than shock. It pierced the fragile trust audiences place in those they admire. The story of Yu Menglong became larger than one man's death. It became a mirror reflecting the fragility of fame, the unpredictability of human emotion, and the devastating cost of silence and hidden rivalries. When the truth finally surfaced, it did not emerge in a dramatic outburst but rather through the slow, painful unraveling of two men who had spent their lives performing on screen. Taiyu was the first to break. Under the harsh light of the interrogation room, he initially appeared calm, almost rehearsed, the way he might have in a scripted scene. Yet as the hours stretched on, cracks began to form in his composure. His voice wavered, his carefully chosen words faltered, and finally he admitted what so many feared. He had been there, he had pushed Yu Menglong, and his actions had set in motion the tragedy that ended a young man's life. The weight of that admission filled the room with a silence more powerful than any denial could have maintained. It was not just a confession of guilt, but a glimpse into a tortured conscience haunted by the memory of that night. Gao spoke of the argument, of his rising anger, of the split-second decision that could never be undone. He described the fall, the sound of impact, and the way it replayed endlessly in his mind. His words carried the sharpness of regret, but also the heaviness of responsibility, and it was impossible to separate the man from the remorse that now defined him. Song Yiren's turn came shortly after, and though his tone was measured, almost detached, it revealed a different dimension of guilt. He had not delivered the fatal push, but he had held you back, he had shouted, and he had refused to let him leave. In doing so, he confessed, he became complicit. His role was less physical but no less damning, for he had stood by and allowed the irreversible to unfold. In his words, there was no attempt to justify or shift blame, only the chilling acceptance that inaction can be as destructive as violence itself. He admitted to seeing fear in Yu's eyes, a look that still haunted him. That image alone painted his silence as a betrayal far deeper than denial ever could. Together, their confessions formed a narrative that was both precise and disturbing, a sequence of actions and omissions that transformed an argument into a death. The revelations shocked not only investigators, but also millions of fans who once admired them. In those confessions, the public did not hear lines from actors. They heard men who, for the first time, dropped their masks and revealed the raw, unfiltered consequences of unchecked anger and withheld courage. It was not just a scandal, but a devastating reminder of how fragile the line is between admiration and disillusionment, between loyalty and betrayal, between life and death. The investigation reached its most chilling stage when authorities demanded a full reconstruction of the night Yu Menglong lost his life. What had once been described in words now had to be shown in action, step by step, under the unblinking eyes of cameras and forensic experts. Taiyu was led back into a room carefully staged to mirror the scene of that fatal night. Every move was recorded as he retraced the argument, the blocking of the doorway, the shove that changed everything. The simplicity of the gesture, a single push, stood in stark contrast to the enormity of its consequences. Observers noted how his hands trembled as he demonstrated the motion, as if the body remembered with a precision the mind could no longer deny. Then came Yiren, whose role in the tragedy had seemed less clear until this moment. He was asked to show exactly how he restrained Yu, how he grabbed his arm, how he shouted and demanded he stay. Though he insisted he never struck a blow, the reenactment revealed the suffocating grip of his presence, the way his intervention sealed Yu's fate by preventing any chance of escape. The tension in the room was heavy, as though everyone watching understood that silence and restraint could be as deadly as violence itself. Forensic analysts meticulously compared their actions to digital evidence, timestamps from phone records, fragments of surveillance footage, and witness testimonies. The puzzle pieces began to align with chilling clarity. The angle of the fall, the position of the body, even the timing of messages sent moments before. It all echoed the sequence Gao and Song reluctantly reenacted. What emerged was a narrative so precise it seemed rehearsed, and that very precision unsettled investigators and the public alike. Real life rarely unfolds with such mechanical order, and yet here it was, displayed frame by frame. The reconstruction did more than confirm their involvement. It stripped away the final layers of denial. It forced both men to confront their actions not as distant memories, but as living reenactments of choices that could never be undone. For those who watched, it was no longer just a case file but a haunting performance where the stage was reality itself, and the cost was irreversible. What should have been the truth finally revealed instead left behind deeper unease. As if beneath the clarity there lingered shadows of something still unspoken, a hidden force that pushed events faster and harder than anger alone could explain. Fans erupted in anger and disbelief. Social media platforms overflowed with comments. It doesn't add up. No one confesses this neatly. Their words sound rehearsed. There's something they're not telling us. This isn't just about two actors. Someone else is pulling the strings. Across Asia, vigils were held. Fans lit candles, shared memories, and demanded justice. What was once grief transformed into a global movement for answers. Experts began to weigh in. Psychologists noted the unusual calmness of both men during their confessions. Behavior analysts highlighted micro-expressions that hinted at withheld truths. And insiders whispered about jealousy, rivalry, and pressure from powerful figures in the industry. Could Yu Menglong's death have been more than a heated argument gone wrong? Was there a hidden motive, career envy, financial disputes, or something darker that triggered such a swift and catastrophic end? These questions continue to haunt fans worldwide. The confessions may have shed light, but they also cast longer, darker shadows. At its core, this story isn't just about fame, betrayal, or scandal. It's about how fragile life can be, how quickly anger can destroy, and how even those we admire most may hide truths that shake us to the core. Yu Menglong's legacy now carries a powerful reminder. In a world driven by competition and pressure, the cost of silence, envy, and uncontrolled emotion can be far greater than anyone imagines. The investigation continues, and millions are watching closely. But one thing is certain. This shocking confession has forever changed the way we see the glittering world of fame. What do you think? Were Gao and Song's words the whole truth, or just the surface of something even more sinister? Share your thoughts below. We read every single comment. Thank you for watching Update X24H. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Your support helps us continue bringing untold stories to light. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.